Alrighty, next one in the line. So we have the actor actually set. We make sure the source is onto mapping. That's how we get things to move. Source mapping. So I'm just gonna just before we move on. Source and character in the right menu define a lot of things. So character is the actual thing that's gonna be moving, and it's like the main focus of the animation, like the thing that's gonna be animated. And the source is what is driving that animation. Is it mapping, which in this case it is mapping the markers? The mapping means the markers are moving it, and the rigid bodies and all that. And later on for other stuff, we're gonna have control rig, we're gonna have actor to act, actor to character, and all that, which is gonna be in this video. Okay, so we have a full character moving, which I'm not gonna call it an character because it's an actor. Let's imagine we have our own game rig or animation rig, and we want to work with that. That is a custom rig we have or whatever. This is just a actor with like nothing on it, like barely anything. So how are we gonna do that? So we provided you with a rig already. If you don't have one, it is excuse me. It's called Bruno. It's in this little zip file. Unzip it, and don't worry about all this stuff. Just care about this FBX. Make sure you have your file saved like always. Try to save your scene. Just drag it in. Very easy. Just drag it in, and before you do anything, don't press FBX open, because that's gonna close this scene and open it. FBX merge is the one you're looking at, because it's gonna import that on top of what you have here. So FBX merge, no animation. Let's just make sure that's the case. Now we have this. Alright, we have a character in. You don't have to align it, I'm just saying in general. Now, let me just get out of marker selection, by the way. If you don't have it, I'm just going to go to object. Now, we have a character. I can't even move it around. That is a character, and that's our custom ring. We're going to be mapping it to this. This is a relatively thin character, so we can actually, like it's technically easier to see the movements on it, but at the same time, like we have to go through less cleaning, to be very honest with you, because the more like muscular, or like the more like in general the proportions are bigger. That means if, for example, the hand is going here and it goes through the body, that's a thing that you gotta fix. But if you have a thin model, like again, it really depends on what model you're working with. That's the end thing you should be bringing in here. But again, in this case, because of tutorial, I'm just doing a thin model, so we just have more things to focus on in terms of tutorial, and just less hassle of just repetitive stuff, because at some point it'll get repetitive. We have our custom right here, just bring whatever you have, but it's the same concept as I'm going to be teaching you. It's just that like one part, his hands are here, let's say, like for example, like this actor. And if you have a muscular or like a chunky character, these hands will be inside their thighs instead of like here, the proportions. And that is a problem. And you need to do extra cleanup on those, which we will be doing, but because even the hands will be going through this body as well, even as it looks like a stick, but it's still gonna do that. Alright, so how are we gonna do it? First of all, we brought a character in, but Motion Builder doesn't know it's a character. It just thinks it's a mesh. So what we're gonna do is create a character from this. Make sure you select it, be on object selection, select it, press this little blue button up here, create control rig. It says a valid skeleton, yeah sure, press define. Now this is the interesting part. We are going to be creating our skeleton. Well, we already have a skeleton. We're just going to be defining it here, so Motion Builder knows what part of the actor, that universal rig, whatever they have, gets mapped to what we have here. And since this is very annoying, actually, what I'm going to do is, well, you can always work with here, but how I do it, I personally rather do it through the outliner. That way I can just get more precise, like rather than having to focus on these bones here. Like if I just zoom in with Alt, right, like instead of me having to select this, which gets annoying in my opinion, especially with their things around. You can always hide it, obviously, but I want this to be my view because after this step we need the actor, and it's just extra step of bringing it in. Anyways, enough talking. We have the character. Now the character knows to make sure to source the character and the source. This is important. The character should be character. That's the character we have. Source, well, right now it's none. We can't set it to anything else. We need to define the skeleton. Alright, so let's just start. I am going to start with the scene outliner. Mime skeleton. That's the skeleton. This is the mesh of it. But we're working with the skeleton of it. So that's the root of it, but this is the hips. So in video games, this is important, mime skeleton, but hips is also another root that could be used for different purposes. But in video games, when it comes to root motion animation, this is going to be your main root, which is going to be here. But anyways, so yeah, let's just now start. So we have the skeleton like hierarchy. I usually just try to like because I have worked with many rigs at this point. It's like a thing that I know. But for beginners, if you don't know where things are, try to imagine what bone, because everything here is bone, as a joint rig. Imagine what is, for example, if I'm trying to locate the right hand, I will try to think, what is the right hand a child of? It's probably the arm. And what is the arm a part of? The torso. So torso involves what? A spine as a bone. So spine is here. So there's a bunch of spines, obviously. And now we have the left shoulder, right shoulder. Boom. And now we can just go down, go to right hand. Pretty self-explanatory. Anyways, let's just start. So we have the hips. I'm just going to define the hips. Oh, you cannot drag. I forgot. So you just select the hips. Right-click on hips here. Assign selected bone. And it's going to turn green. Green means it's fine. If it becomes yellow, that means you probably selected it wrong or anything. You can clear it or whatever. But, you know, yeah. So I'm just going to select this, assign, okay. Now I'm going to go to, yeah, if this happens in Motion Builder for you at any point, I don't know why that is. Like you see this little redness to it, to everything. I will try to see if I can fix it, because this becomes a very annoying issue. What I would do, I would just honestly restart. Sometimes restart Motion Builder, because again, it's a whole hassle. I mean, I already saved. I don't need to save really. I'm just gonna open up Motion Builder again, because as I said, like Motion Builder is like a little. Yeah, I saved it in here. Motion Builder gets very annoying with how the old school controls are in it, and honestly, you can't really control it. You just gotta go with it. We will see later why it's the best, believe me. This is all the prep stuff. Like, we're just preparing the cleanup. The cleanup is the fun part, where we're actually cleaning the mocap, like mesh stuff. Anyways, I have it open. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I just need to bring the character in. Let me go to... I'm just gonna speed run this a little bit, like be a little faster. I'm gonna FX merge, no animation. Okay, now I'm just gonna go to make sure I have object mode. I select the object, then I go to create, control rig, define. Alright, now let's just go to scene, mime skeleton, hips. Alright, hips, go to hips, assign selected bone. Now the good thing is we have symmetry here. So if I assign something on the right side, it's going to automatically select left side now, because now we're working with rig hierarchy. No more markers anymore. So I'm going to start with right thigh. So if I go to right up leg, boom, left one gets assigned automatically. And all you got to do is just do one side. So here we go. Here we go. Like, if you select these little things, you can always go more crazy with you if you want. Like, you can start a toe base, and then you can go like each finger and then sub stuff. Like even here you can go like do roll bones. But again, we're not doing any fingers or anything like for hands. We're gonna be doing it for the spine. But for example, you can have extra shoulders sometimes, shoulder bones or whatever. But we don't need it anyways. So we have the foot, but I'm gonna also put reference. This is for video games. If you wanna retarget two animations. In Unreal Engine, this is the procedural way, but again, this is like the traditional and the best way if that procedural way doesn't work. Anyways, now let's get to spine. So spine, it starts with spine, but because we don't have one spine, we have multiple. I think I know what this issue is. I think it thinks I'm dragging something, that's why. Yeah, it thinks I'm dragging something, and I don't know why, but it is a problem because it thinks I'm just like selecting multiple things and dragging things at the same time. Yeah, that becomes annoying. I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, let's just work with what we have, right? Like, I can't really do anything on it. Here, let's just go with characters, actor, not actor, sorry. Oh, it got fixed for some reason, yeah. It's annoying, as I said. Let's go to spine. Spine is weird because we have like spine 1 here. Well, that's this rig, honestly. We have spine 1, but then we have sub spines. Don't mistake the spine 1 with the spine 1 here. The first spine that you see goes to the one that's visible, and the one above it is the extra ones that we have. So we can have as many spines as possible. That's why all of it is over there. And make sure they're don't try to align it with here. Go in the order that they are. So here we go, spine 4, boom. They are correct. That's it. So we have the main one, and then we have that. See, it became green. Alright, we have neck. Neck goes to neck view, but that's head, because if you hover, it says head. Neck goes to the first neck. Like, these are for extra rigs, like just extra accuracy or whatever, more control. But we don't need it. Head is a part of a neck, so head, that's that. Now let's just go close neck down. Let's just close this down for better clarity. We have like left shoulder, so I'm gonna go to left shoulder view. So this is the left arm, but left shoulder is here. Left shoulder, and then we're gonna start with left arm. Then we're gonna go to left forearm, and then left hand. Again, if you had fingers, then that's when you would actually select this. We have finger 5, finger 1, but again, we don't even have finger animation on our model here, so we don't really need to worry about it. Like, they just have their hands being tracked. But if you have fingers, now you would like go to each of them. Like, for example, if this is the middle finger, this is a bad naming convention, but if this was the middle finger, this would be like middle finger 1, then 2, then 3, you know, and so on. And so you would just go ahead. And yeah, assign everything. But again, everything you do on the right side gets translated to the left side. At least that's the best part. Okay, this green tick here means everything's set up. You probably might have seen that it was already ticked like a while ago, might as well. I didn't really look. But when this is there, that means it's technically ready. But sometimes it's wrong, it could be. Try to go with the rig, like what you know of the rig. You need to know your rig. Anyways, so we have source as character. Now click on source, go to control rig. We don't have a control rig. That's why we need to create one. I'm sorry, I don't want to look. Alright. We have a character with 2 legs and 2 arms. It's a 2-leg and standing, so it's biped. Positive z-axis, yeah, it is in positive z-axis. That's whatever. So biped. And make sure you do FKIK. And here we go. We do have our, rig created. Now, all that we need to do is that we need to map this actor to this guy. We have a lot of stuff in here, but now, just again, the last step is going to be important. That's why we have this. So we have source from actor. Now, if you see, we have our rig moving, which is crazy, right? However, the actor is the one deriving it. If we want to modify and like if there's issues or whatever, and we want to make her like modify the animation right now, we can't, because the actor is just giving it 1-to-1. We need to bake this to the control rig we just created. Source, again, character is character, source is control rig. We need to make sure we should be able to control with these, so we can actually clean up the animations. Alright, so I'm just gonna bake to control rig, and this is the last step of this video. Bake the actor's data to the control rig, so we can get rid of the actor. Well, not get rid of it, but just hide it. So I'm gonna go for, we have the control rig, and just one good thing about Motion Builder is that if you have multiple animations in here, if you do it once, it'll do it for all that one file. Like, again, as long as they're all in one file. Anyways, okay, so let's just break it to control rig. Character, character, source, make sure it's an actor. Source should be actor, so like move it around, it should be moving. Now go to this blue thing up here. Now go to bake plot. Go to the second option, press this. Do not press this. Press this little 3 dots. I've seen people telling me why is it not working, and it's because they're placing this. Press this one. Press the 3 dots right next to control rig. Bake to control rig. The 3 dots. Again, bake plot, control rig. You press that. Press this, plot all text. This will make sure all of your text that you have will be baked into control rig, so you don't need actor anymore. And the other stuff, I leave it as alone. 30 FPS, depending on what animation you want to capture, 30 frames, if 60 frames, whatever. Just press it over there. I would always have this on roll. Like if it's not there, just make it on roll. Like we will have some issues that I'm gonna explain later that we're gonna fix. But yeah, that's the general outline. So I'm just gonna press plot, and we're gonna see magic happen. Mobile might crash. I should have saved. Let's just save now because it just did it. Now, if you set your character, before it was character and actor, right? And it was moving. Now, if I set character to character and source to control rig, we have the character moving. We actually don't need the actor anymore. We can actually start cleaning up mocap. That was all the prep work. So that was a thing from scratch. Mocap studios or game studios, like they would sometimes give this ready to you, like the next video that's where they're gonna start like giving you the file as a client or whatever. But again, we need to know it from scratch, because if we want to do it for our own indie game, or we happen to work at a AAA studio as a mocap technician or whatever, we need to know this stuff. That's why we're doing it from scratch, right? So all we gotta do now is just hide the actor. How I would do it is I would just select the actor, go to properties, just press little visibility on it so it would go away. Or what I can do, what you can do also, select the mime skeleton, like the actual mesh, select the control reference, right click, select branches. This would make sure everything, like in terms of the character that we just did, like gets selected. And everything else we're gonna hide it. So display, hide, unselected. So whatever we selected will be staying. Now boom. Now we're gonna be cleaning up mocap next video. Hope you guys found it useful. Thanks for watching. We're gonna go for the next one now.